Clear prop.
Delta Blake traffic experimental 8053 Romeo, taxi 2 runway 3 Delta Blake. Delta Blake traffic experimental 53 Romeo, taking runway 3 for takeoff to the north. Delta Blake. Now we're working our way west, and down below us is US Highway 50. I lost the little rubber thing that goes over to the end of this. I'll have to find it. So down below us is West Winds Airport. And we're basically going to stay to the east of the highway until we get to Whitewater. This is fun. I get to look.
Traffic 182 Lima Kilo is about 7 to the north, descending through 7700. We'll be landing 35 on.
This is fun. I get to look at things. Don't normally get to do that. We're going to stay east of the highway. It's US Highway 50. US Highway 50 is an interesting road. It starts out Washington, D.C., comes all the way through here, goes all the way up into Carson City, Nevada, and I think it continues into California. They've been doing a lot of work on it. Oh, our first bumps. We're going to gradually lower the altitude here. We're at 6,800 feet.
Traffic, Cessna 45 Bravo from the tie downs to runway 03, departing to the east, Delta Blake.
Gorgeous, beautiful day. A little bit of haze. The haze is from the fires down in New Mexico and Arizona. Now there's no optimum speed
traffic,
here.
Lima Kilo is west downwind for 35 at Montrose.
I can see the Gunnison River from here. You may not be able to see it on the GoPro.
Delta Blake traffic, Cessna 45 Bravo, departing runway 03 and departing to the east, Delta Blake.
Montrose traffic, Falcon 8240, taxiing runway 35, Montrose.
You can see down below us there's a parking lot to the left of the highway. That's for Dominguez/Escalante, and it takes you up and eventually will take you all the way to Divide Road. Now I'm going to put into the
Montrose traffic, 2 Lima Kilos, turning final, 35. Touch and go, Montrose.
just for reference, we're going to put in the Grand Junction frequencies into the radio. It's 118 855. A
017. Visual approach, East landing and departing runway 11.
and their tower is 118.
Service frequencies, all pilots here back hold short instructions. Advise on mission contact, you have the information, Zulu. Grand Junction Airport information, Zulu, time 155.
I'm going to have to find that windscreen for this thing, because we're getting a lot of wind noise on the microphone. It's quite warm outside, so I've got both vents open. Those guys really suck in the air, put a lot of air in the cabin, and when it hits the microphone, you get that air blast. The reason that we're flying on the east side of the highway is because on the other side of the highway, right down to the highway, is the Dominguez Canyon Wilderness area. And that is marked on the charts with a dotted line indicating that they would prefer that we stay 2,000 feet above it so we don't disturb people who are enjoying the wilderness. This side of the road is BLM, and I guess people in BLM areas are not disturbed by the noise of flights. Okay, we're just going to take a look at the engine instruments. It is a warm day, but cylinder temperatures, both on the right and left side, are well within spec. The RPM is 2,300, which is down from the 2,500 some odd max, because I don't want to run the engine at max all the time. It's just like an automobile engine. It does not like to be run full out all the time. Now you can see ahead of us there, the skyline way on the other side is a row of mountains, and then you see the white cliffs, and then the dark greenish area is this more dark turquoise area is Grand Junction itself. And just this side of another set of mountains is Whitewater. Whitewater is where we will cross the highway, and we will stay on the left side of the highway following over the Colorado River so that we avoid the Grand Junction Airport, which is a Class D airport. We entirely avoid their airspace. Just in case, I have the radio set for the Grand Junction tower frequency, in case for some reason they reach out to us wondering what we're doing. It won't be radar that they see. It will be ADS-B. And ADS-B transmits our location, speed, altitude, everything. And in fact, you can follow it on flightaware.com for any aircraft if you know the tail number. Tail number for this aircraft is November 8053 Romeo, or N8053R.
Runway 3786, contact them, departure.
Departure runway 3786, connect.
Charlie Bravo, Grand Junction Tower, runway 11, clear for takeoff, fly straight out, caution wake turbulence.
Tower 3267 miles.
Got 3216, Grand Junction Tower, runway 11, clear to land.
Runway 11.
We're getting some bumpies here as we go over these hills. There are a lot of homes down below, more than I thought there would be. This is definitely within commuting distance of Grand Junction. yet you can still come on here and have quite a bit of land. Although we are in the desert. Now if you look ahead to whitewater, it won't be very big on the camera because it's got a wide angle lens. But you can see the Gunnison River actually comes fairly close to the highway.
Grand Junction Towers, 5491 Juliet. It's kind of emergency. We have overheated temperature right now. Can I go direct to the airport?
That's 5491 Juliet, affirmative, straight in 11 work for you.
Yep, straight in 11 will work for us, 5491 Juliet. We're going to try to slow her down a little bit.
You heard that guy saying that he had an overheated engine. That's something I'm watching for too. It's going to be close to 100 today, although it's not right now. It's still kind of pleasant.
And 901 Juliet, verify, just trying to clear up your nature of emergency here. You do want to declare an emergency and you do have engine power right now?
Yes, sir. We are declaring an emergency. We do have engine power. Our oil temperature is just skyrocketing right now. I'm trying to cool her down.
Okay, we are coming over whitewater here, and what we're going to do is go on the other side of the highway because we're done with the Dominguez area, and we're going to go to the other side. Now that is the Gunnison River below us and a few lakes that have been put in there to hold water. The river is heavily used locally. It is true that there is a certain amount of water that we need to release downstream.
12 o'clock at a mile of the Kodiak southbound, climbing out of 7,000. They're pulling out of the sequence for you. Runway 11, clear to land.
They're in sight, no factor, 11 clear to land, and our engine is starting to run just a little bit rough.
Skywest 3216, taxi to the gate, modern ground, 0.7.
Now, Grand Junction Airport is off to the left. You can see the buildings up there. It's a Class Delta airport. I've got their frequencies punched into the radio in case they call me and wonder what I'm doing. I'm outside the Class Delta airspace as long as I follow along the river here.
Car 3 ground, Cessna 5491 Juliet, 2 mile final, overheating and rough running engine, clear to land on 11, should be here in about 5 minutes at the most, maybe 2, 3.
With this engine running rough, it sounds like he's losing oil.
Phone call, I guess the red phone is working now?
Boy, not only pumps from side to side, but up and down. We're over hills,
295 ground, stand by.
which is what's doing it. Well, that's Grand Junction below us. It's a pretty good sized place.
384, Grand Junction Tower, runway 11, clear to land.
Clear to land, 11 Kodiak 4.
They run a fair amount of commercial traffic out of Grand Junction. Somewhat more than they do out of Montrose. Population in this area is over 100,000, probably over 110,000. Full-size city.
Go, say again.
We're doing about 90 miles an hour at 6,500 feet, which is about 1,500 feet above the city below us. To the west of us, or left of us, is the Colorado National Monument, with some absolutely gorgeous canyons and some fun rock formations, including Independence, and I don't think it's called a peak, it's more a spire. Okay, we're going to change frequencies to Mack. We don't have a separate AWAS frequency for them, so we're just going to change it to 122.9. Okay, we're on max frequency. Okay, at this point we can fly a bit more direct course for Mack. We're past the Class D airspace. We're also past much of the metro area for Grand Junction area out here. We're moving. I think that town down directly ahead of us is Fruta. A Mack is at an altitude of 4724, so the pattern will be 5,700 feet. Okay, looking again at our cylinder temperatures, they're cool. I mean, relative to cylinder, I don't think I want to put my hand on one. Running about 2,400 RPM, the oil pressure is 60. Oil temperature is a little over 220. Appears to be fine. Voltage is high on the battery. Over on the left, you can see here, getting close to the entrance to the National Recreation Area, or whatever it's called. It's not a national park. I wish it were. Colorado National Monument. We're not going to fly over it because it's really rugged country. Absolutely beautiful country, but boy, the bumps would be out of this world. We're still right over the Colorado River, which is, of course, running fairly low this year. Should be running high this time of year, but it's not. Make a quick radio call here.
Traffic, this is experimental 8053R, about 10 miles southeast of the airport, coming in for a full stop landing. Mack traffic.
Oh, you can sure hear the nasty wind noise on this thing. I've got to find the little windsock. If I can't find it, I'll order another, or use one I've already got at home in all my YouTube stuff. We're now crossing over Interstate 70. We're doing about 87 miles an hour. And yes, it is in miles an hour. The RANS aircraft are miles rather than knots. The speed down there, the speed limit is 75. We're not going to give up our altitude until we have to. If you can look ahead, you can see that beyond the green area where Mack is, there is just desert. And it's like that all the way to Green River or Moab.
Mack traffic, experimental 53 Romeo is approximately 5 miles southeast of the runway. I will be doing one pass over the runway to see the direction the windsock is pointed in. Mack traffic.
Okay, I have the airport in sight, visual.
Mack traffic, experimental 8053 Romeo is southwest of the airport. We're going to do one pass by the airport to look for the windsock, see which direction the winds are coming from. Mack traffic. I don't see a windsock down there. There's a nearby lake. I'm going to go look at the lake and see what the winds look like they're doing on the lake. Well, I see a water skier, but I don't see any indication on the lake of anything that would give me an indication of where the wind is. So I'm going to assume it's calm, so I'm going to come in from the far end. Overflight traffic, experimental 53 Romeo on left downwind for runway 7 at Mack. Mack traffic. Going around.
I'm going around because I did not like that approach. I could have made it, but this runway is not very long. So, you know, I would have touched down late. I don't want to touch down late. I want to touch down near the numbers. Climbing back up to pattern altitude here. Let's see, I think our best rate of climb is probably about 70. I'm going to no flaps here.
Mack traffic, experimental 53 Romeo turning crosswind for runway 07 Mack. Mack traffic, experimental 53 Romeo downwind, runway 7 Mack traffic.
I can actually remember this sight picture from the last time I was here, which was about a year ago. We're coming in for runway 7. It's low, which is better than we were before. No, I think we're about right. Yeah, I'm gonna set speed back a little bit. It's that 7 I'm aiming for. 70 miles an hour. Okay, let's get the aircraft straight. Oh, there's the windsock, way over there. So we had a crosswind. That was not the best landing I've ever made, but it got us down in one piece with plenty of runway left. Okay, there's a car here. That might mean there's somebody here. That's a pretty old looking car. Go beyond this just a little bit. I wonder if that's the airport car. Okay, We're going to go through shutdown procedure here.
Okay, we're on the ground at Mack. I need someone to sign my log. There's nobody here. It's deserted. It's a weekday. Well, that wraps that up. That's half of the cross country, the flight from Delta to Mack Airport outside of Grand Junction, Colorado. I obviously made it back to Delta with no problem. However, the GoPro camera ran out of battery not very far into that flight home. So we'll just end it here to let you know that I actually did get to Mack, Colorado. So until we next meet, 73.